Good evening, everyone. Who are you? This is a very important question for all of us because the world values money, the world values fame, the world values wealth, the world values possession, the world values degrees. This is why we struggle if we don't have this. We struggle to make our voices heard. We struggle to make an impact. We struggle to matter around the people we are in. But if you don't have those things, don't worry because there is a solution. The psalmist said, "What is mankind that you are mindful of them? Human beings that you care for them." You know, the psalmist compares human beings with the sun, the moon, the stars, and even the angels. If we compare ourselves to these things in these heavenly bodies, we found ourselves insignificant. We found ourselves small. We found ourselves weak and vulnerable. But you know what? The answer to that question not lies on who we are, but on who is this God you serve. The psalmist says, "Lord, O Lord, how majestic is your name in all the earth." The focus is not on the human beings, the focus in who God is. That's why the psalmist says this, because this God that he serves uses the children, uses the infants, whom the society thinks are vulnerable, whom the society thinks are helpless, whom the society thinks are weak. But through these beings, God has established a stronghold against the enemies to silence the foe and the avenger. God defeats them using these ordinary people. Have you remembered David and Goliath? David was the underdog. Goliath was saying, "Am I a dog?" Because he underestimated David as a child who was not well trained for war, but David defeated him. Remember Nehemiah? He was just a cupbearer. Who would have thought he would be able to finish the wall in 52 years? Remember Joshua and Caleb and the 10 spies? They thought of themselves as just small, but because they know that they're serving a big God, they were hopeful that they would defeat the enemies. Not because they were small, but because they are serving a big God. And lastly, you remember Elisha and the servant? When the servant opened his eyes, he saw that they were surrounded by the enemies. But Elisha was not afraid, was not scared, because he saw the armies of God are greater than the armies of the enemies. The servant was not able to see the armies of God, but Elisha did. That's why he prayed that let the eyes of the servant be open so that he can see that there is hope because there is the armies of God. This is why tonight I'm encouraging all of you. If you feel that you are insignificant, if you feel that you are helpless, vulnerable, don't lose hope because it is not about who you are. It is always about who is this God you serve. You know, this God that you serve creates great people out of the ordinary because God is a gracious God. God is a loving God. God is a just God. And you can have hope in Him. God bless you all and good night.